right? Like this is this is what we do.
Just talking
It,
about healthy hair. It's fine.
it is. I'm using hair oil and stuff, but I really do think just like have like the cuticle feels less
Yeah.
open,
Yeah.
exposed, the darker, less bleach. So it's
And then
working.
it's just lower maintenance to not if you're blonde and I mean it's one thing if you have like hair growing out and like you like that look, then it's just easier. But if you're if you're straight up going for just blonde, then you have to keep up with it so much longer. And then it's hard for them to not reach those like tips again over and over. So no, your hair looks super healthy. Super healthy. We love
Yes, I feel like it's like tattoos though. In the sense, you know what I was gonna say. Like once like I've always been blonde. It's always like, ooh, what if I go darker? And I went darker, and then it was like after my eyeballs adjusted after the first like 3 days, I was like, okay, I can do this. It kind of washed out, and then I was like, ooh, I kind of want to go darker. And now I'm like, dark. How dark can we go?
it.
Like
Yeah.
it's like
And it's funny because looking at you, someone wouldn't be like, "Oh, you have dark hair," or "You're a brunette." It's just like you're dark blonde. That's all it is. But then, like to you, you're like, "No, I have black hair. My hair's black." Like,
well, when I look at pictures now of how bright blonde it was like a year ago, I'm like, oh my God,
yeah,
it's cute, but holy shit. After 4 weeks, I had my hair's not even like this is my natural color. It doesn't even, it's not that dark, but compared to the blonde, it was like I looked like I had like black roots like
yeah.
4 weeks in. I was like, I can't live like this.
No.
No, so hey guys, welcome.
Yeah. Hi guys. Me and Shelby
Um,
started talking. We were like, "All right, we're gonna go live," and then we started talking about hair. We're like, "Okay, we've been talking about hair for 2 minutes. I guess we should start
we
this."
forgot that we were going live and we really just we talk all the time, so we were just thinking that we were still just having a meeting. What's up guys? It's we're in summer. Summer is in full swing, so I feel like everybody, I mean us included, are kind of getting the like, oh, it's fun, it's social, like I want to do things and go to the beach and go to the lake and barbecues and all that stuff, and that is great, we love that. But something that we've been talking about, and I made a reel on this yesterday if you guys follow me on Instagram, just talking about like when really is the right time to start working on your health journey, start working on your fitness journey, start working with a coach, start a program, whatever it is. Because as a recovering perfectionist, I feel like I can very much appreciate the sentiment of like, if I'm going to do something, I want to do it right. I get that. But something that also needs to be said is waiting until you can do something 100% before you do anything ensures you're going to make 0% progress, right? So that's like, where do we find that middle ground? And like, when really is the perfect time? Is there a perfect time? Do you have to put your fitness goals on pause because it's summer? Do you, what do you do? Do you lock yourself in the house? Like, really, let's talk about this mindset around the perfect time to do anything.
Yeah, and one of our returning members here in the group had just posted something too about being in a gray area. And sometimes I feel like being in the gray area is the best time to take that decision or make that decision to get yourself out of that gray area. So like you've gotten yourself to a certain point, maybe you are tracking food on your own, maybe you're starting to go to the gym or at least like joined a gym or started doing walking, you started doing something, but now you're like, I know I want to take myself to the next level, but I'll just wait until X, Y, and Z. And that area right there, that gray area of waiting until you're ready and waiting until like there's a sign or whatever it might be, that time is going to pass anyway. And when you can look back and realize how much time you spend in that gray area where not a lot of progress is being made because you're actually holding yourself back, is all time that you could have been making progress by just taking yourself to like 1 or 2 steps further by doing something, whether that be like she said, okay, I've been thinking about hiring a coach because I'm doing all this on my own, but I want to take myself to the next point, but I'll wait until summer's over because I have a barbecue on the 4th of July and like Labor Day weekend. It's like, okay, well, what are all that stuff in between? What are things that you can be doing there that still can adjust to your lifestyle and help you get to where you want to be?
I love that you said the time is going to pass regardless, because it's so true. I think we've all had that experience of saying, all right, for real. I mean, seriously, guys, it's June, which a universal experience apparently when in your 30s and beyond, once you hit your 30s, is time just goes faster. Nothing ever slows down, nothing ever gets calmer. It just keeps moving. You have responsibilities, things keep coming up, things happen, things are on your calendar. And if you're always looking for an excuse, you are always going to find one. But how many of you said this year in January, all right, this is the year, this is when I have these resolutions, these fitness goals, these health goals, I'm really going to get toned finally. I've been spinning my wheels, going in circles for years on my own. For real this time, I'm going to do it. We're halfway through the year. So if you haven't made the progress that you want to make towards those goals, I really want you to ask, like, what's going to change? Do I just wait until next January? Like, if you need some sort of perfect timing, some sort of perfectly clean slate, literally any day of the week, doesn't matter what day, any time, like, there's not a bad time to start. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's not going to be, it doesn't have to be the beginning of the year, the beginning of the week, the end of summer. Anything that you start doing now is probably better than what you've been doing, which is probably not that much.
And I think that advice is so valuable because not only do people wait until the beginning of the year, but if you already are, or if you already are in that mindset and you keep that mindset, you'll be the person that starts every Monday, meaning like, well, I'll just start again on this day. And we talk like, we don't call this limitless lifestyle coaching just because like we like the name. Well, Shelby named it that, but
we do like the name.
we do like the name. But the lifestyle part of it is that it's teaching you how to still have a life and still reach your goals and adjust that to your lifestyle and incorporate your lifestyle instead of thinking you have to revolve your entire life around your goals. It's like you should revolve your goals around your life, right? So that way they're more sustainable. So if you have that mindset of like, I'll start when I'm ready, you're always going to feel like you're failing, because even after you start, if you don't get out of that mindset, you're going to think like, I'm not doing it perfectly, I must be failing, let me stop. And then create this cyclical effect of like, okay, on Monday I'll start again. And really you're just spinning a wheel instead of like moving 1 inch forward, or moving like being 1% better, 1% better.
Yeah. And something I said last night in my reel was, I was like, I find that whole, I'm going to wait until I can be perfect, I'm going to wait till I can be 100%. One, you are setting yourself up to disappoint yourself, because 100% perfect every day is absolutely, one, not necessary, nor is that even remotely realistic. But two, I feel like that's either an excuse to stay stuck and continue not taking action, or it's that you're stuck in the all or nothing mindset, which is going to, again, ensure that you kind of keep going in those cycles of starting over, because you just throw the baby out with the bathwater every time you don't have 100% adherence. But you don't need 100% adherence to make progress. You need effort every day consistently. I would say that while you've been sitting here waiting, again, like the whole like, oh, I have book plans that weekend, even if you have plans every single weekend for the rest of the year, what are the other 5 days of the week looking like that you could be making progress towards your goals? Because I guarantee 5 out of 7 days a week of doing mostly everything and then figuring out what's the 20, 30, 40, 50% that I can do on those weekends that I have plans that can at least sustain the progress that I'm making on those other 5 days out of the week. If you put that much effort into those days that you don't have plans, you would still probably have 60 to 70% effort towards your goals. And instead you're taking 0 because you can't take 100. That doesn't even make sense.
No, and we've talked about this. I think we did a whole live on why perfection is such bullshit, because it really is just a fancy way to tell yourself that you're procrastinating doing something because you think you need to do it 100%, and then ultimately you end up doing 0. And like that still averages out to 50 if you took the average of 100 and 0 anyway. But the other thing too is think about it is like, what's actually holding you back from making the decision to take the next step forward when it comes to your health and fitness goals? Usually it's fear. It's either fear of change or fear of doing something different, or fear that you're either going to like not, you don't know what you don't know what's on the other end of like, what does it actually look like if I wanted to start reaching those goals? Oh, damn, does that mean I have to be doing this, and this every single day? And sometimes those fears are irrational. Like, you don't have to work out every single day for 3 hours. You don't have to go and join a gym to have success. You don't have to not drink alcohol. You don't have to give up foods that you love. And I think there's like some of that too, of like that pendulum swinging a lot of the times. But that fear is what's holding you back from even just asking the questions. Like we say this all the time in our consultation calls, is like, just have a conversation with us about what coaching even looks like. It's not like, hey, we're going to get you on a call and convince you to do something that isn't a good fit for you. It's, hey, let's get on a call to see what's missing in your life right now. Tell us about your lifestyle. Tell us all the things that you've tried. And then we can say, I think this would be probably best for you. And that's going to have you feeling a lot more comforted and comfortable, knowing like, yes, it's scary, but at least I know what I'm going to start. I know what I'm going to be getting myself into. So if you're like, oh yeah, I've been thinking about getting a coach, but I'll even inquire when I'm ready, you'll probably be watching this a year from now, to be honest.
Yeah. And I think that, there's something to be said too for set. And I think, again, it's fear, but I also think part of it as far as coaching is maybe you just like, some people just don't understand that while we are real, obviously, and we're tough love from, we're going to tell you, we're transparent, we're going to tell you like it is. We're not like militant. And I think that that's very obvious from the way that we live our lives is like, probably you guys saw me going out this weekend. You guys see me, traveling and doing things like that. Like, do you think that I would, be doing that and just like, how am I doing all of the things that I'm doing? And then like, do you think I'm coaching in a different way that I'm living? Like we walk the walk, but I think there is something to be said too for telling yourself you can only be successful when you have nothing else going on. It really sets a bad precedent for you, but it sets you up to feel like you have to choose between your health and fitness goals and living your life. And that is absolutely not the case. And that's not even like a pitch for coaching. That's a pitch for like you finding balance in your life of pursuing your goals and living in that sort of gray area that we talked about. I think a lot of people say like, oh, like I'll do this whenever I, have less going on, or I'm less busy with work, or I have less travel or whatever. And in reality, what you're saying is, I don't trust myself to continue to have success when things are hard. You're saying I can only be successful if things are perfectly easy, and that's like saying like getting into a marriage and being like, ooh, but like not in sickness for sure, only in health. And, definitely only in good times, not in the bad ones, no stress or struggle. If things aren't going well, let's just part ways. Like if things aren't perfect, we're just out, and it's like, no, this is meant to be sort of a lifelong endeavor here. You don't have to rely on things being, and I think too, that has people feeling maybe in the beginning of their fitness journeys when they're being very restrictive, like I have to choose between going out and reaching my goals. I have to choose between going on a vacation and reaching my goals. And of course, that's going to make you feel burnt out if you're living in that sort of, I can't have a life if I'm also fit, which is not the case. So I think it's dangerous to go into something saying like, oh, I'm saying right now, only way I can be successful is if I have nothing else going on in my life. And like, not only is that probably not going to happen anytime soon for a very long period of time, but again, like, wouldn't it be more valuable to have support, to have accountability, to have a plan, and learn how to make it work when things are more challenging than less? Finding success when things are easy is easy. Finding success when maybe you do have more moving parts and more moving variables and more to figure out, like that's going to be a more valuable skill for you, because if you can figure out how to do it when it's hard, you can really just cruise when things are easy when it comes to tracking your macros. And, if you can figure out how to do it while you're on the road and, still get your steps in when you have a desk job and you're working a lot of hours, or still, figuring out how to find gym when you're on the road traveling for work. Like if you can make it work when the circumstances are a little bit more difficult, I guarantee it's going to be really easy to sustain that when you're just like at home in a more chill season of your life.
Yeah. And the word value, you said there was something I was going to say. It's valuable lessons that also you don't know what you don't know yet. So you're going to realize so many things about yourself when you take the leap during that gray area time or that like chaotic time of your life, and have so many realizations of like, one, what you're capable of. And you're going to impress yourself with that. And two is you'll learn so many valuable lessons during that time that you can then apply for probably the rest of your life, but in those less chaotic times. And like, there are things that we coach our clients through. I really think especially through summer, but with most of my clients, at least I can say, I started with most of them through Limitless in February. So February is kind of like a quiet month. There's not a ton of holidays besides Valentine's Day. It's wintertime. Everyone's kind of still hibernating, right? it was a really great time for them to build habits. But regardless, summer is coming and things are starting to change. And now they still have to navigate those new things regardless, right? Whether they just started or not. And they're starting to learn so many things about themselves from like a self-discipline perspective. Motivation, like motivation doesn't show up. It's like, oh, now I need to be disciplined in these times. How to pivot in the summertime when I don't really do the same things in the summer that I do wintertime. And all of these valuable lessons that you learn about yourself, and more so mindset things of like, oh, my relationship with food, my relationship around my family, whatever it might be. All of those things are going to come out when you make the decision before you're ready, because you almost are forced to learn them to then have success. If you always put it off, I think that's actually riskier to put things off than to do them when you're scared or do them when you don't feel ready, because you're not going to learn those valuable lessons. And again, you don't know what you don't know. So you'll never learn them because you didn't even know they were there to be learned or there to be taught.
Absolutely. Messy action produces far more results than no action. You know what I mean? So imperfect action is still moving you forward, right? That's how you learn. And that's how we don't, again, I think that's the expectation is like, there's no like blueprint of like, this is how you are an absolutely perfect fitness robot individual that we expect you to be when you come into this. Like you said, it's called lifestyle coaching because you're meant to have a full life. You know, it's not our aspiration, nor should it be yours to have, you know, clients that have no life. Like that's not the goal.
No,
so I think
not fun for us either.
It's not fun for us either. And again, like you said, there's a lot of watching from the sidelines that I think happens when people think, and I had a call yesterday with a woman who had been watching and seeing all these results. And she was like, you know, I kind of just always watched and I was like, wow, that's amazing. Like, I wish I could do that, or so great for them, or like, you know, whatever. And then she said, I kind of just stopped myself and was like, why not me? Like, why can't that be me? Like, you know, and like, usually the only difference is why is you haven't taken action, and it's a mindset thing. It has nothing to do with, you know, some of my most successful clients are my busiest clients with the most responsibilities because they've learned by doing. You learn skills by getting your hands dirty. You don't learn by waiting for, you know, this super calm, tranquil period of your life where you have no time commitments. It's I hate to say it's about to be so cliche, but diamonds are forged under pressure. But you know, it's true. Like you learn by getting your hands dirty and by doing the things and practicing and learning how to do that. And also I like what you said of fitting your goals around your lifestyle versus the other way around. It's like, of course, you're gonna have to make some sacrifices, you're gonna have to make some choices, you're gonna have to make some changes if you want things to change. But you still have to start doing the things in order for anything to change. And I think I've talked to so many people who, again, have just been like sideline lurkers for so long. And, you know, when I talk to them 6 months, 12 months, a year and a half, 3 years later, and they're like, oh, well, actually, yeah, I've been meaning to still get around to that. Or like, yeah, I did this thing and I fell off again. And, you know, it's like how many, again, I blink and 6 months have gone by again. Like, at what point are you going to look back and realize that 50, 60, 70, 80% for 2, 3, 4, 5 years that you've been thinking about doing this would have already gotten you to where you want to be?
And that's that concept of that time is going to pass anyway, instead of thinking that, and this is a big one too, it's like you have to be all in or nothing. I mean, that mindset is going to apply to everything, but that time was going to pass anyway. And so there's either the fear of like not knowing when to start or waiting for the perfect time, or not knowing where to start when you want to start something. It's like, okay, I know that in order to reach my goals, I need to do this and this, but I don't know which one to start with. Like that can also be very overwhelming. There was something else that you just said that I was going to piggyback off of. Now I forgot. Oh, damn.
I feel like we're both doing that today and we're just like ping-ponging around, but it's completely fine.
So good.
And I was going to say too, I think when people are like, oh, well, I have to wait until summer's over. It's like, are you never going to live through another summer in your life? Your summers are going to keep happening, right? Like you said, the time's going to pass. Say like, oh, I have to wait until I'm done with school. Like, you know, I talked to someone who I've talked to a lot of teachers lately and they're like, oh, I'm waiting till school's out. And it's like, okay, great. But what's going to happen when school starts again? Are you just going to quit and abandon all of your goals when you go back to teaching? Like, no, that your career is still there. You know, same thing with, you know, relationships and travel and stuff. It's like, okay, waiting. Granted, now if you're leaving on like a 6-week international trip tomorrow. Maybe you wait until you get back to start coaching. But again, if you had started a year ago, being able to navigate that trip with ease would probably be something that you could do because you've been building up to it, right? So the time is going to pass regardless. It's just a matter of like, what do you want to be working towards? I think I did this a lot professionally with starting my business. Is I had this just gnawing anxiety because I was waiting for the right time to really kick this off and start my business. I knew what I wanted to be doing. I knew every single day that I said I was going to take action. I was going to work on it over the weekend, and I just didn't because XYZ, because I'm busy with work, because I had plans this weekend, because I didn't know what to do, whatever. It's like, I could have hired a mentor. I could have taken some action. I could have, and it's like, granted, I love how everything worked out, but like I could have made all this progress and done all these things and grown in a lot of ways while I was sitting on the sidelines watching other people reach the goals and do the life that I wanted, get the results that I wanted, knowing damn well it could be me, but the only thing that was holding me back was my complete lack of action because I was waiting until I was done with my corporate job, until I was done traveling, until this, that, and the other, like when I could have been working towards that. And I think that you know deep down when you are kicking the can for no good reason. And I feel like there's never going to be a perfect time. The perfect time was yesterday. The second best time is right now. And that applies to everything, is like messy action beats inaction 100% of the time.
I remember what I was going to say now, and we can end on this if we want to, because Shelby and I we'll just talk until tomorrow.
We really, honestly, guys, I think we're going to bring back the podcast because we love to talk and we're good at talking. So if you guys, full-time job to talk. I'm going to post a poll in here. If you guys have made it to this point in the live, I'm going to post a poll. If you think we should bring that back, the podcast, let us know, because we love doing these lives here, but I know some of you guys have told us like you like to go on walks and listen to us, and watching these on Facebook is challenging. So let us know. But I completely cut you off. What were you going to say? I'm so sorry.
Okay. Actually, somebody gave a tip the other day. I did a Facebook Live, my friend Nikki, and she's like, by the way, if you're watching this, you want to catch it later, like you don't actually have to watch it. You can just listen. And I was like, why have I never said that on a live before? But something that you had said earlier made me think of this is, and I'll leave it at this. So that way, if you guys are watching this and you're taking this on and you're thinking like, yeah, this is totally me right now, this is where I'm at. Circumstances also can change. So right now might not be the perfect time. That's what you think. It's not the perfect time, but something in 3 months from now, actually serious could happen where now you cannot make the decision that you wanted to now. And you kicking yourself saying, I was waiting for the perfect time. And all in that time that had passed, I didn't do anything for myself. And now something has come up where I can't do it. And you're going to think I should have done it when I could have. So it's not really when you want to, it's like, if you can physically do it, regardless if it feels hard and scary and all that, do it, because there might be a time in your life where you actually can't. And you're going to think about that hopefully you think about this conversation, but you're going to think about that time and learn something from it. And I'll use me as an example. I was working with Shelby for, I think it was close to 2 years at this point. We came home from Italy. There was a lot of stuff that was going on with my family. And I was like, I have to put coaching on pause. But I'm so glad that I started when I did, even though I definitely was not ready. I was just like, hey, I found this girl on Instagram. And then she was like, are you signing up? I'm like, yeah, I guess so. Like, that's how fast it happened. I wouldn't have been able to start at that point, but I had already had 1.5 years of all of that mentorship and coaching that I was able to go off on my own for a little bit after that. And thank God I did then, because my life changed after that point. So if you can, do it, because there's going to be a time in your life where you probably might not physically be able to, or financially be able to, or whatever it is. Do it now, make it work when you can facilitate that.
100%. I think that's great advice to leave on. And also just thinking about when you think about the actions, we've talked about habits having compounding interest. Right now, the way that you're living, the habits that you have, the decisions that you're making, maybe you're not living your most healthy girl summer, whatever. But when it comes to your health, when it comes to reaching your goals, I want you to think what I'm currently doing now in 3 to 5 years, what is the result of that going to be? Because if you don't make any changes, you are guaranteed that that is the direction that you're going to be going, right? Changing those things now changes the trajectory of the next 3 to 5 years. So when you do have circumstances come up where your life changes unexpectedly, it happens. Like, what kind of, I don't want to say what kind of shape, like what kind of health, what kind of like, where do you want to be? How do you want to feel to be able to navigate any of that, right? Like, again, like what are the cumulative effects of what you're doing right now if you make no changes? Because I think that is really what helps me when I feel like I'm struggling to take action. Is if I continue to do exactly what I'm doing now, I already know where that's going to put me in 3 to 5 years. Is that where I want to be? If not, I need to start taking the actions now that are going to change that trajectory. So
I literally have nothing else to say after that. Yes.
So we're starting the podcast back because obviously we like to talk.
I was like, so what am I doing that I've been holding back on? I'm like, now it's
I'm all amped up after this. I'm like, damn, let's go. Go take action on something. I'm motivated now. But all right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this tonight. And if you have any questions for us, if you want to chime in, you guys know we love talking to you guys. Drop a comment, send us a message on Instagram or on Facebook. I feel like we've really made it a goal this year to be more involved and make this a really, really interactive community. So if I've reached out to you, if Alessia has reached out to you, if you guys have chatted with us, like, we appreciate all of the feedback. And I know you guys have liked these lives. So if you have a topic in mind, always let us know. We are happy to receive those. So
we'll talk
have a
about
good
it.
night.
Thanks, guys.